Okay, so now let's take a look at a different base graph. This one is a square root, so you want to make sure you start with the correct base graph. So if we look at our library of functions, it shows that it's y equals square root of x. Now, that one starts at 0, 0, and it's going to go up and to the right just like that. We don't have any graph on the left-hand side because, of course, we can't take the square root of any negative numbers. So here, we've got the point 1, 1 that's there. And we also have this point here, which is 4, 2. So that's the key points that we have from our library of functions. So this is going to move over. We want to apply one of these transformations. Now, it doesn't matter if you want to apply the one on the outside first or the one on the inside first, but you notice we have two graphs here because there are two different types of transformations happening with this, and we want to draw each one individually on our exam. So this right here is the square root of x minus 2. We're going to do that one first. Okay, so we'll take care of the inside one, and finally we'll apply the negative on the outside for our final answer. Now, let's look at the rules here. This says that we're taking the graph of absolute square root of x, and we want to move it 2 places over to the right. So remember that you're moving it opposite direction of the sign that's inside here. So that's how I knew to move it to the right, because it's opposite of the negative direction that we see here in the formula itself. So we're going to move it 2 places over to the right. Now you're going to take this exactly what it is. We're going to shift it to the right by 2 places. So we move it 2 places over. The graph is going to be, now it's going to be right there. If I wanted to draw in the key points, label those. Okay, this originally here was at 0, 0. Now this point got moved over to 2, 0 because we're just adding 2 to the x value. You're going to add 2 to these x values also. So instead of being at 1, 1, we add a 2 to the x value there. It's at 3, 1 should be the next one. So 3, 1 is going to be right here. So if I wanted to label my axes there, I could. And then this one's now going to be at 4. We're going to add 2 to that. Okay, so if we add 2 to that one, that's going to be 6. So we're going to go over 6, 2 is the next one. So 6, 2 is going to be drawn right here, and that's what the new graph is going to look like. So this is going to be at 6, 2. Now, we have to apply the negative on the outside. So notice we have a minus 1. That's going to take all the y values and shift it down 1 unit. Okay, so this is going to be our final answer here, square root of x minus 2 minus 1. It's going to take all the y values, and they're going to basically subtract 1 from it. So instead of it being at 2, 0, label my axes here. Instead of at 2, 0, we're going to subtract 1 from the y value there. So it's now going to be at 2, negative 1. Whole thing gets shifted down 1 unit. This one right here, I should label that. That was at 3, 1. Subtract 1 from that. That's now going to be crossing the axis at 3, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and label that as 3, 0. This one's going to be shifted down by 1 unit also. So that's going to be at 6, 1 right here. So this is at 6, 1 would be that one. So here's what your final graph is going to look like. So we started with the graph here, moved it 2 places over to the right, and then we moved it down 1 unit. This final graph here, this is your final answer here. Starting with that, 2 places to the right and down 1 unit, this is what your final answer looks like.